A home. A home base. A home is mainly thought of and is a structure. A house, okay, with a roof. You think of it like this, like a little teepee, and maybe a white picket fence, landscaping, a house. Certainly we know what a condo is, a townhome. But a home base for a nomad is at least a piece of property, just raw land. Or it could be land with RV hookups that you use as a home base, as a place to rest, to get off the road as far as traveling consistently. Or there are some nomads who have a home base like the conforming, house with the roof and the structure, or whether it's a mobile home, whether it's a single family house, or even a condo. There are some nomads that have a home base that think of it like a structure, but that's kind of a home. The home base, again, I think it's raw land. It's an RV lot with an RV on it. And that's kind of the home base. That's the difference. Home base is just land or improved land. Improved land means that you have a place to park an RV, or you don't even need to have a place to park an RV. Improved land means that you have electrical hookups, water, and sewer. The three major utilities that you need to live, whether you use those utilities for an RV hookup, a mobile home, or single family house. When you buy raw land with no utility hookups, it's considered unimproved land. When you buy land that has electric, water, and sewer, you have the three major utilities, and it's considered improved land. Now, whether or not you can put an RV on that land and live on it without a structure, without a physical home, and just use it as a home base, that's going to depend on the zoning of the municipality within that township. And most townships, unless you're in the middle of nowhere, are not going to allow you to just have that RV and live on it. You have to have a structure, a regular home. Single family house, mobile home, something of that nature. There are exceptions, such as RV lots in an RV community, which are zoned as actually condominiums. Even though you're not connected with shared walls, you're in a community. They're RV lot deeded pieces of land that, you have the improved land, you have the utilities, and that's it. You just park your RV there. And then you could just anchor that RV down, or you can leave it on wheels and move it whenever you are ready to move it. And, that's a home base. A home base is unimproved or improved land without a physical structure. Okay. To me, a home is a physical structure that could also have a place to park an RV or something of that nature. And, that's what it is. But, I just wanted to define that difference. And I am more excited about a home base, a raw RV lot, improved lot, though. Because to me, if I'm going to get land, I want the improvements. I want the utilities there in case I want the utilities there. And you're going to need them there to live in the RV. There's some thought that, once you have utilities, you're screwed, because then you have to pay a bare minimum charge, a surcharge, to have electricity available, to have even the water turned on. Even if you don't use the water, even if you don't use the sewer, even if you don't use the electric, when you turn those utilities on, there's a surcharge every month just to have them available. And if you're using it as a home base and you're not always there, you're still paying. It's less, it's not much. It's anywhere from $50 to, maybe $150 a month, okay, depending on how much you use those utilities, but a couple $100 a month or so that you have a fixed cost that never goes away, even if you have no mortgage and you own that land. See, when you're dealing with a nomad, you're dealing with a mindset for most of them, and I would put myself in this, that you're trying to get away from inefficiency. You're trying to get away from paying things that you don't use. You want a small, simple life with a lot of flexibility. So once you understand that, then you kind of say, all right, well, yeah, I want a home base. I don't want debt, or you don't want these fixed costs that you can never get rid of, like utilities, because again, they never go away. You can't pay them off and then them go away. So you're always going to look at least $100 to $200 per month in utility costs, at least. The good thing about an RV is it's only, I think the maximum square footage an RV can be is 400 square feet. Most RVs are probably somewhere in between 100 to 200 square feet. Certainly small travel trailers are the most efficient, or Class B motorhome vans. And it's not going to take much to heat, cool them, and you could still pee in a jug and go to the number 2 bathroom in a bag, which I would do because I wouldn't want to dump tanks. But certainly if you have a lot and you have those utilities, and certainly, to me, you have a home base in case you get hurt, sick, or need to get off the road. It's your refuge. And you want those utilities there because you want to be able to flush your toilet, run water, and use electric, heating, cooling, have everything there so you're self-contained. And that's why most townships don't allow you to live on a property if it doesn't have electric, water, and sewer, because you're not self-contained. You need to go to a gym to take a shower. You need to go somewhere for electricity. And municipalities want to know that you can contain yourself on your property if it's like a residential use. So, but that's just part of the piper. Like I say, no matter what in life you pay, really the only way you get away from no utility costs, you live off the grid. You live on solar. Now, solar has cost. What are the costs? Well, the initial investment for the solar panel and the batteries. Solar does not run off the solar panel. The solar panel traps the UV rays from the sun, and then there's wires that go from the panel to batteries. Batteries, like a car battery almost, are what holds the electricity of the sun that's being captured. And, you have an inverter in between them that converts direct current to alternating current in order to make it usable. But batteries, those batteries for solar, especially lithium, they cost money. They have to be maintained and they have to be replaced. So if you spend a couple $1,000s in solar, that's 2-3 years worth of electricity bills. And eventually you have to replace the batteries. So you're never getting away from fixed costs. People think because you get solar, you don't have utility cost. It'll take you 3 years or so to pay off your solar if you use it every day and you don't have electricity bill, because you have an upfront investment of a couple thousand. Then you're still going to have some maintenance and some replacement. You're never getting away from a fixed cost. Average utility bill to cool and to heat an RV, probably about $100 a month. Okay, regular size one, average size. So what am I saying? I want to share some of these things, very exciting, about the nomad, the home base versus the home, improved lot versus unimproved lot. Bare minimum for a fixed living situation, you need at least $500 a month. Why? Because you got to add property taxes, utilities, if there is an HOA, if there isn't an HOA, some upkeep to the land. And, $300 to $500 per month on fixed cost, easy. And, that's really a cheap piece of land, okay? And maybe may or may not be close to things. So, that's why when you go to some RV parks or campgrounds that are remote, that aren't by nice areas, the bare minimum is $300 to $500 a month, because they have to cover their bare minimum cost, okay? Certainly when you get to nice areas, those fees go up because property taxes go up. Those things, so that's all relative in understanding the home base cost. And then, because to me, if you're a nomad and if you're getting a home base, you want to keep your costs very low. Why? Because if not, you might as well get a regular home with a structure that appreciates over time. But me, I don't want to take care of a structure. I don't want home insurance. I'm not buying property to resell it. I'm single, no pets, no kids. But, an RV lot is not that great of an investment. It's more of a vacation type purchase. And for people who are retirees or vacationer people. So, I don't know. I just wanted to talk this out, this home versus home base, these different details that I've learned. Living on the road, you're going to have increased gas, increased food costs. So if you buy a home base within an hour of the places you want to be, and if you buy your own food and you cook at home, you could probably still live cheaper in your home base than you will in a car. But you got to be disciplined. And yeah, bare minimum, you're looking at about $300 to $500 per month. Now, if you were poor, it's like the equivalent of if you were in poverty, you would apply to the government for subsidized housing. And if the rent was $1,000 a month, you would get a voucher or a straight subsidy from the government. Either way, it's a subsidy from the government. You would only pay about 30% of the rent. So your cost would be about $300 per month. So, look, you're always going to need about $300 per month because most people on disability, their disability is about $1,000 a month and they're in poverty. They get a subsidy, they get a voucher or something. They pay $300 per rent. A senior citizen, the average Social Security is $1,500 per month. If they don't have assets and they only have the $1,500 per month, they're technically kind of almost in poverty. So they can also probably get a subsidy. Some of these things you have to wait for. But I'm saying all that to say, when you talk about a home or a home base, apartment, all these things, you're always, even poor people that are on a income from the government, you're always going to need at least $500, $300 a month, because you're always, even if you're on disability or Social Security, you're always going to probably have at least around $1,000 a month income. Okay. So 30% of your income, even at the lowest levels going out to home base. So obviously, look, if you have the ability and you work, which most people have the ability to do something, you don't have to pinch pennies. It's fun though to live cheap. So it's something that everyone kind of thinks about. It's exciting to even talk about. Sometimes I say to myself, Sam, you're trying to live too cheap. It is a little bit of a mental thing, again, like an eating disability. It's like, never ask a skinny person, are you eating enough? I didn't understand that because my whole life I've been wide. I've been a big person. Not like obese, but I was obese at one point because I let myself go. But I've always been a wide frame person. So when I got older and I lost a lot of weight, and for like 3 years I just lived on fruits and vegetables, I was skinny. Okay, too skinny. A lot of people said it. And I was. And for the first time in my life, in my 30s, I had people asking me, they just asked me a question, they didn't tell me, but they look with a certain look. And they said, when's the last time are you eating enough? Or when's the last time you ate? And for the first time in my life, I felt how a skinny or anorexic person feels. It's almost offensive to ask a skinny person, when's the last time they ate? Especially if they're either disciplining themselves or they're in an anorexia state mentally. And, it's like, that mindset of like only eating bare minimum is very similar to spending bare minimum. And sometimes I ask myself, Sam, am I trying to live too damn cheap? In the beginning, no. Because in the beginning of my journey, guys, when you're trying to change your life, liquidate everything, live as cheap as possible. Because why? You want the most flexibility as possible because you're trying to change. But once you change, then you need to sustain. And to sustain, you got to balance. And you got to, maybe spend a little more, maybe make a little bit more commitment. So that's kind of the season I'm at. Now, I'm looking for some type of home base. Okay, not a home base. Because to me, I don't want to structure, even if it appreciates. I don't want to pay home insurance. I don't want to take care of it. I don't want to worry about it. So now, I may go super cheap. I was thinking about going middle of the ground, but it's so tough now, especially with low inventory, man. It's like, now's a bad time to be looking for a home or home base, but they're always available, but they only come on the market quick and then they're off. So you got to really be ready. And when you're struggling to commit to something, that's not easy. But either way, this video is good. Click that thumbs up, share the video, click the blue join button, support this channel. We're killing it. Look at my playlist documenting my journey for 4 years. A lot of good stuff on there, guys. Guys, let's go. Leave this comment. We're on fire on this video. All right, I feel good about this video. Glad I made it. Glad I didn't stare into space and not do something. Always be productive with your time. Always manage your time. Show up, show up. You say, well, I wanted to quit yesterday, but I showed up yesterday, and now I feel like my channel is going to go viral today. Keep showing up even when you feel like you don't want to. Why? Because no one cares why you took a break. They only care if you're reliable. They don't care. Yeah, it's true. Why? Hey, guys, people on their own journey, they got their own problems. Never forget that. Okay, people got their own problems. They ain't really think about you need to take a break. Think about what they got to do. Okay, so, you know, and that's why I tell you, if you got to go hang your ceiling fan, charge them. Okay, if you got to do a video, charge them. Why? Hey, guys, look, they're doing what they got to do. You do what you got to do. Okay, and that's how it goes. Because now, again, if you're doing charity, do charity. I've done both. But what I want to tell you is don't feel bad about doing what you got to do for you. Why? Everyone doing what they got to do for them. Okay? And in a first world country, you know, people who can't do for themselves, they got subsidies, and rightfully so. I hope they continue to get them. And people who can do for themselves, do for yourself and charge a fair fee. Why? Hey, you got to do what you got to do. They're doing what they got to do. I remember working at some old lady's house. She's like, oh, I'm on a fixed income. I go, I understand. You know, it's only like $100 though I'm charging you to hang the ceiling fan. And she, in her garage, she had a Mercedes-Benz. She had a $500,000 house. Everything was double of what I had. You know, I had about $200,000 condo, okay, a $30,000 car, and she had double of everything I had, okay. And she was trying to, like, you know, talk me down on the price. I said, look, I'm not here to, you know, I said, this is the price. If you want to get other prices, fine, because I was still cheaper, $50 cheaper than anyone else. What did I learn? Hey, you want to shop around? Feel free, no pressure. But what you going to find out, okay, is they may give you a subsidy, okay, to chop down your rent, but not if you're a senior with a $500,000 paid off house. That's an asset. Then you know, and so if your net worth is at least $500,000, if you got a paid off house, doesn't matter if you're on a fixed income, that's your assets. One is you're not going to get a subsidy to live out of, and two is you're not going to get a cheaper ceiling fan. Why? Because hey, look, you're not living bad. What are we talking about now? We're done. This video's done. I give you a lot of stuff, guys. Click that thumbs up. Click the blue join button. I think 33 cents a day to be a member of this channel. You can cancel at any time. You can't beat that. Like if you put utilities on your lot, you can never cancel. So yeah, I think that's very fair. All right, guys. Peace.